Opportunity to speak to my Hebrew brothers, those that are in the camps and those that are not, those that believe that a woman should wear a covering. Let's rightly divide the word of truth of 1 Corinthians the 11th chapter, when he says that over man there is Christ, and over woman there is man, and over Christ there is the Most High. And in the midst of that being the guideline of a marriage, over that being the guidelines of a household, Paul was telling them, said that, man, you do not have to allow another man to guide you and direct you in the way you should go. You have the right to be able to go to the Most High at any time and speak to him concerning your situations or what you're failing at or what's going on with you. You can have that one-on-one relationship with him because he is your covering. He is the one that's covering you. He is the one that's protecting you. He is the one that's praying for you. And he's telling the man, he said, man, you're supposed to cover your wife. You're supposed to protect your wife. You're supposed to be able to guide her and direct her in the way that she should go. You're supposed to be able to teach her the things that she need to be taught. You're supposed to be able to put your family together in unity and prayer. So therefore, if that be the case, and the man happened to forsake his family, happened to leave out the marriage because the woman refused to wear a head covering, you are the one that's actually out of line, not the woman that don't want to wear the head covering. You are the one that's actually out of line because you have broke your covenant with your marriage. You have broken your covenant with the Most High. You have broke your covenant with the Messiah. You have broken your covenant with your wife. You stepped out of line, and it's time for you to get back in line in a place where the Father has set you from the beginning, when he gave you your wife, when he gave unto you that was for you. A lot of times, a lot of people like to do this and that, but the Bible says that the Bible says that ministry begins at home and work itself abroad. So therefore, you have to begin to start at home with authority at home. And that woman's supposed to allow her covering, her husband, to cover her. He is her head. So therefore, her head's supposed to be able to be covered. In the midst of her head being covered, that means she's supposed to pray for him and cry out for him in the midst of the fact of him leading her and leading their family in the way that they should go, to keep him covered at all times. And in the midst of that being so, the one, Paul says that even if Paul was really saying that a woman should cover her head, he said if a woman chooses to prophesy or to pray, then she should have her head covered, and have that authority or that power over her head, which is a man, which is him in leadership, her husband. If it's not her husband, it's her father. If it's not her father, it's her older brother or her uncle. If she don't have either one of them, she have her pastor, some kind of leadership, so the angels will not come and lust after her. And that's what he was saying, because she's going before the Most High. Yet in the same token, in the midst of all that, Paul said that it's not custom. It's not in the Torah. It's not a law. It's not a commandment. So why are you leaving your wives and your children open for the enemy? It's just like the Willie Lynch spirit, pulling the man out of the households, causing division, is causing destruction against his family, causing his sons to begin to be opened up to any promiscuous spirit, causing his daughter to become raped, causing his sons to become homosexual, causing his daughters to become lesbian, feeling like that no man will ever love her because of what she see her mother going through. That causes all kind of effects to happen in the household. If the head is messed up, the whole body is out of line. This is what the Most High was saying, but a lot of you brothers cannot understand that. You might be saying to me right now, why is your head covered? She's saying all that, but she got her head covered. Yes, I have my head covered to show you something. This does not make me be obedient or subject unto my husband. If I take this off, it does not stop me from being who I need to be for my husband. It does not stop me or cause me to be subject to my husband if I have it on my head. My heart does. Me willingly and knowing the word and rightly knowing the word of the Most High causes me to become subject to my husband. The way my husband is towards me causes me to become subject towards my husband. My husband have no issue with me doing what the Father calls me to do, because he know that there is no Jew, there is no Greek, there is no bondman, there is no free man, there is no male, there is no female. When it comes down to Christ, that we all are the same in him. And my husband also know that me and him is no longer twins, but we are one. But he also know that he has the authority to make decisions in our home, and that I will come subject to his authority as well. So therefore, in the midst of saying what I'm saying in this situation, brother, it's time for you to go back home to your family. It's time for you to make it right, because you are the one that's out of line. You are the one that's forsaken the father. When Rebecca came unto Isaac, if you go back and you read that, they say when Rebecca seen Isaac, she asked the servant, is that him? Is that my Lord? And he said, yes, that is him. Then she covered herself. She covered herself then. Tamar, when she wanted to go mess with her father-in-law because he wouldn't give her his son, she covered herself. So because a person covered themselves and make them holy, make them right, and make them righteous, no, I could cover myself from the top of my head to my sole of my feet and still go out there and whore. It don't take nothing for me to pull up my dress. It don't take nothing for me to pull up that robe I got on. It don't take nothing for me to pull it off and put it back on and dress myself back up like a woman of righteousness, as y'all say it is. It does not. Y'all need to stop judging people according to what you see on the outside, and understand that there is something in the heart of a man. The Father said, I searches the heart of man to see if he's right. So, brother, y'all need to get it right, because y'all are causing division and problems in these people's marriages by lying to them and telling them that their wives are supposed to keep their head covered. And you know it's not in the Torah. You know it's not in the word, besides what Paul said. And Paul only said through praying and prophesy. Y'all making Paul seem like he's schizophrenic to me. Y'all making Paul look like he don't know what he's talking about to me. Because Paul saying a woman praying and prophesying, if you in the church house and you praying and prophesying in the sanctuary or in a meeting, and you praying and you prophesying, you speaking, that means you talking. That means some words coming out of your mouth. And y'all have said, Paul said for women not to talk or speak or do any of that, but Paul has given women authority in many ways than one. Even though Sarah told, the father told Abraham, listen to your wife Sarah. So that means the father gave Sarah authority at that moment. So don't try to make it seem like if y'all want to bash the women for every little thing that they do. Y'all want to bash the women, but when it come down to you all, what about working from the sweat of your brow? What about you taking care of your family when the father said that if your wife is not pleased with you, then therefore your prayers is hidden? I don't care how many prayers you have. I don't care how many meetings you go to. I don't care how many times you stand on the street corner screaming and hollering. I don't care what you say or how you try to make it right with the Hebrew boys and the Hebrew men. And I don't care what you try to do. If you are not right in your household, the father is not pleased with you. You are out of order. You are out of line. And the father have a problem with you. So now it's time for the get it right, and to get it right the way the father has created you to get it right. Make it right with your wife. Make it right with that woman you left on the side to get with these other women that want to act the way you want them to act and do what you want them to do, because they have low self-esteem about who they are and where they're coming from. And some of them went through the fact that their father left their mother. Make it right.